Hello, amazing female trailblazers. I'm super excited to be here with you to talk about something that is so important and I've been getting so many questions about. Before we dive into that and what the topic is today, hi, I'm Leanne Jameson. I am the founder of the Institute for Female Trailblazers, and I am so excited to be welcoming in so many new people to the group. They're gearing up for our free 5-day workshop that's coming up, and let me tell you, it connects perfectly to what we're talking about here. But if you're already in the group, the Women on the Rise free Facebook group, you already know that we have weekly free trainings aside from when we have our 5-day workshop, because you get free trainings every single day during that. We do offer this guidance and empowerment to live out your most authentic life, to identify what your life purpose is, and not just to identify it, but give you the tips, the tools, the strength, the community, the global connection to be able to make those dreams become your reality, that mission, that vision actually come to fruition. So that is what we do here at the Institute for Female Trailblazers and in the free Facebook group, Women on the Rise. So if you're not part of that, message me, message your success advisor. She is part of my team, Renee McClure. We are here to support you in your journey to really up-level your life, to really step into that life purpose, that bigger mission, so that you can live your legacy and change the world. So now that we have that cleared up, we are diving into creating more clarity for you. This is a question that I've been getting so much lately, and I've actually had a lot of people sign up for this training. So I'm just making the connection that this is some of the basics that people are confused about, and I can totally understand why, because we're going to be talking about terms, words here that are sort of just like thrown around without being explained. So I'm here to explain them. Hello, welcome to your clarity quest. My name is Leanne Jameson, and I will be your guide for this training. So we are actually going to be navigating through mission, vision, purpose, and legacy. All right. So again, we hear these terms a lot, and what do they mean? How do I utilize them in my business, in my career? We'll be diving into that. But again, if you want even deeper clarity and the empowerment to live that mission out, then you want to join the 5 days to break barriers and live your legacy today. It starts on March 4th. So that is this upcoming Monday. We start at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So if you are not registered, be sure to get your spot, get your butt in there, and make sure that you show up, because it is going to lead you into more clarity of what exactly that mission is, what exactly that vision is, like how to find your purpose, and then connecting that to leaving your legacy. So join us March 4th, the 5 days to breaking barriers and living your legacy today. So today, you are likely here because, just like so many of the women that I've been connecting with, you're really seeking that clarity, the direction, and that bigger fulfillment in your personal or professional endeavors. Probably both, because they're very connected. So it's nearly possible to separate personal and professional growth and alignment, especially when we're talking about purpose, our life purpose, our mission in life, because our life experiences often define what that is for us, what our mission is, what our purpose is. So, and again, don't worry, I'm going to be diving into what each one of these means and how each one of them is important in creating that clarity. So we are going to, throughout this training, again, we have a very short amount of time to get through this stuff. So it's going to be a lot of information instead of like the experience. Again, we have more of the experiencing in the 5-day workshop. So again, register. So we're going to be going from understanding to envisioning, right? The desired future state, to discovering the driving force that propels us forward, to contemplating lasting impact that we want to leave behind, right? So this is really just a framework for navigating like these profound questions and these, really big ideas and what do I want to say? Just these questions, right? Why am I here? What's my purpose? I mean, let's dive into existential crisis right here, right now. Okay. So, so who's with me? Who wants to dive into an existential awakening? I don't like to use crisis because that's like, I don't know. To me, it's more like a negative term. And the awakening is so much more of what we're doing nowadays. Like we're waking up to the possibilities. We're waking up to the vision that we've always had it in our spirit. And more of us are connecting with that and then moving forward. It's such a beautiful time. I know shit's hitting the fan out there. Don't get me wrong. But we are in a beautiful space of transformation and you are right at the forefront of it. So give yourself a round of applause. Round of applause for being right there. So first, before we dive into all of these different words and the description of them and the definition and everything, first I wanna point out that this is all about aligning authentically. And what does it mean to live authentically, right? When I talk about authentic living, your authentic self, it's about honoring your inner truth, right? It's really truly about living a genuine and meaningful life, a fulfilling life that is so aligned and connected to your values. And this is completely disconnected, or this is regardless of the any kind of like external expectations, okay, or any kind of external judgments, which is often what leads us into an unfulfilling life, is by following through with our conditioning, following the guidelines of what is expected of us, especially when it conflicts with what is genuine and real and authentic to us. So this is living that inner truth, even when it goes against the grain of society, the grain of your family, right? This is moving forward and honoring your truth. It's really about embracing your uniqueness. First of all, seeing your uniqueness, and then embracing who you are unapologetically and wholeheartedly. So I want you to put that somewhere, whether it's on a piece of paper or, in the comments, is just that, I am unapologetically here, right? I'm going to move forward without apology and wholeheartedly knowing who I am. And of course, that's a journey in itself of really sweeping aside and clearing out excuse me, a lot of the conditioned beliefs of the obligations and the expectations of others and how we've been following that. And there's no, I'm not about blaming. I'm about being aware. I'm about identifying so that then we can move forward with intention. So, what is one key component to living authentically? Can anybody guess? Put it in the comments. What is one key component to living authentically? Courage. Okay. Being your authentic self takes a lot of courage. It means living in alignment with your true thoughts, your feelings, your values, your beliefs without conforming to the external expectations, right? Or the societal pressures. It involves completely embracing and expressing your uniqueness, your quirks, your imperfections, embracing them all rather than denying them, pretending to be somebody that you aren't so that you can try to fit in or to gain approval, which we've all been conditioned to do, is to look for that external validation. So that's why this is living authentically is so, like, it takes so much courage, right? Authenticity requires self-awareness and full self-acceptance, as well as, and this is where the courage comes in. So it's the full self-acceptance as well as the courage to show up as you are, even if it means facing criticism and being vulnerable. I know I said the dirty V word, vulnerability. I know for me, that was a tough one, right? I'm like, I'm vulnerable, I'm open. But when I really looked at my life, there were so many things that I was keeping close to my heart, right? Like I would not show you my hand. There are some things that took me 10 years to talk to my husband about. That's a decade. We've been together for two decades. But just thinking about that and how closed off I was because of that fear of being judged. Or how he would look at me differently, right? And that's how ingrained this stuff is, right? So even when we think we're an open book, there are I just encourage you to take another look, to really be honest with yourself. And I know that for me, it was through therapy and somebody holding up that mirror to me. So anyways, and that's why I do what I do, or one of the reasons, right? That's why I have my mission. That's why I have my purpose on this life, is to help others see themselves clearly, to take responsibility of what their life is and what it could possibly be. So anyways, who's with me in creating authenticity? Who has courage? Put me in the comments. But I am courageous. I want you to own it. Put that in the comments. Write it on a sticky note. We all love sticky notes. I know I'm not the only one. It's like a multi-billion-dollar company, so I know I'm not the only one. Write it on a sticky note. I am courageous. Just state it, claim it. That is what you're declaring here. So let's look at mission. We're going to start with mission and understanding your mission. Okay. So what we're looking at here is I'm going to break it down in a couple different ways as far as like defining mission, like what's the definition of a mission and what is the core answer that it answers, like what question does mission answer? So I really like the way of setting that up, of just like having the question of like mission is it answers this question, or like vision answers this question. So that's how we're breaking it up. Oh, and if you need the handout, please put handout, please. Renee or myself will get it to you. Check your direct messages, and Facebook Messenger for the handouts. So when we're looking at mission, what is the definition of mission, right? Mission is this core purpose of your, like, you see where it's already getting entangled, right? This core purpose of an individual or an organization. So if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, or wanting to start a business, what is your mission? What is your core purpose? The question that it answers is, why do we exist? Like I said, existential, activation and awareness right here, awakening. Why do we exist? It's the purpose behind your actions. It describes what you do, who you serve, and why it exists, why you exist, right? It truly, when you're looking at your mission, it guides the daily operations, right? It guides this decision making within the organization or within your life, right? If we're looking at our personal life and having a mission for our personal life. And generally, this remains our mission remains pretty consistent over time, even if as strategies and tactics change, right? So you're going to have this mission and you might have multiple ways of getting there, right? The strategies and the tactics. So why do we exist? What is my purpose? What is my purpose for being here, right? So having that as your mission, I wanted to give a couple examples of some of my favorite companies, right? So something that I value very much is our companies that give back. They have a purpose. They have this mission of actually making the world a better place, right? Leaving it better than we left it, or than it was given to us. So with that, right, looking at Tom's shoes, I love Tom's shoes because of what they stand for. It's just, again, looking at the mission. So the mission for Tom's is to improve lives through business, right? It's known for its one-for-one model, where every time you purchase a pair of shoes is given to somebody in need, right? All around the world, right? So that's leaving the world a better place. Their mission is to improve lives through business. So again, they can go multiple different ways of getting there, and change the look of their shoes and change their marketing and stuff like that. But that's their core mission that won't change, right? It really doesn't change. Another one is Patagonia, right? When we look at Patagonia, their mission is to build the best product, cause no unnecessary harm, use business to inspire and implement solutions for the environmental crisis. Right. So, really looking at that, I love anything that I've always been this way since I was little. Anything that helps the environment. I was the president of our environmental club when I was in high school. I went into marine biology, wanting to save all of the marine life. And that is what I did for a little while. I think a couple semesters where I was actually saving porpoises and seals that were washed up on the shore at like Montauk and nursing them back to health. And like seals are big and they're heavy and they can be really mean, but it was really important to me. So anything that gives back to the environment or that enhances the environment or tries to heal the environment or heal people, right? I'm all about. So that's Patagonia is their mission. So their mission statement reflects their commitment to environmental stability, like sustainability, right? Social responsibility, and highlighting their desire to create connections between business, environmental stewardship, and then social change, right? So really looking at those two examples of like, I wanted to give you like firm examples of mission statements, like missions. So those are the examples. And I want you to really think about like, what is your mission through your business or in your life or in your career, right? I work with executives as well, executives in different companies that want to make a difference, whether that be, I have some that are attorneys, others that are HR, others that are executive directors who want to change the companies from the top down, the inside out, right? Because they know that it can be run a different way that is more authentic and aligned and helps the world. So whatever that may be. So what is your mission? Start thinking about that. And then when we're looking at vision, so we're moving into vision, what is the definition of vision when you're thinking about it for your life purpose or leaving your legacy, right? The vision is the desired future state or the long-term goal, right? It's the vision of what could be. It's filled with inspiration. So really the vision answers the question, where are we headed, right? We're envisioning this future state, oriented towards future long-term goals. It inspires. The vision inspires and motivates in your people in your company, maybe stakeholders, if you have that, your team. This vision is inspirational and it's motivational, right? It also communicates your organizations, your company's aspirations, like just being able to say, this is what we're seeing. This is like painting a picture, right? And we paint a picture in our mind about what we want our life to be or what we want our company to be. Consider this sort of daydreaming with intention. Okay. It's like, what could be possible? And that's why it's so important to come from such inspiration, right? What's possible, not where we're at, not from the lens of where we're at, but from the lens of where we could possibly go. And this really takes a lot of like breaking down a lot of the conditioned beliefs and limitations of like, well, we're in a recession or, this is an election year, so people aren't doing X, Y, and Z, and this is happening and that is. We don't look at the problems and stay there. We look at the problems as opportunities to what's possible and what solution is possible. And that's where we live, is in this vision, right? These are the dreamers. This is just allowing yourself to dream. There's so many layers that we have to break down before we can actually allow ourselves to dream again. That's part of my program. That's part of my Legacy Academy program. Is breaking it down to allow ourselves to dream. So that's the vision. When we're looking at the next thing that we're actually going to look at is purpose, right? Clarifying what purpose is. What is the definition of purpose? How is it different than mission? I think vision is pretty clear as to how that's different, because again, it's like more of this like forward thinking vision, daydreaming, envisioning what's possible, all of that. A lot of people get caught up in the like what's purpose versus versus legacy versus mission, like how do all those translate and connect and all of that stuff. So before we move on to purpose though, like what is your vision? Do you have a vision? Do you have a vision of what the world could be, or what your company could be, or how your life could be? I've always gone back to this. This is sort of my driving force of envisioning compassion, just fueling everybody. And when we live in our purpose, when we live in alignment with our authentic self and our authentic purpose, we just live a more fulfilling life, which creates a decrease in the suffering and an increase in the joy and compassion, right? And that's how I like to see the world. That's the vision that I have, right? So what's your vision? Put it in the comments, write it down. Make sure that you just allow yourself the space to reflect on these questions and on these terminologies, right? These parts of our life that we live by, but we don't even really give a lot of thought to. So there's that. Now, purpose, right? The definition of purpose is the reason behind the actions. This really answers the question, what drives us? What drives me, right? Core, like the purpose, or like, life purpose, it refers to like the fundamental reason for your existence, or the essence of your being, right? Like it really, gosh, how do I want to put this? Like it encompasses so much. So it encompasses our values. It encompasses our belief systems. It encompasses our passions that drives us forward, right? It drives our actions. Everything is created from purpose, that moves us forward and drives us forward in pursuits throughout our life, right? Purpose fuels motivation, and it like sustains efforts, right? So when we're looking at purpose, it's again like, what is driving me? Where, when we're looking at mission, it's why do I exist? Now, purpose is what is driving my existence, right? So when we're looking at how it's tied together, your purpose is tied to both mission and vision, right? When we're looking at purpose, think about purpose as like the underlying motivation and direction of the mission. It's like it serves as the foundation on which your mission is built. So purpose is here. When we are looking for purpose, we need to make sure that we are uncovering all of the conditions, all the conditioned parts, all of the obligations, all of the like, we should be doing this, we should be doing that, removing all of that to just what do I want to do? How do I want to live? What is important to me? And maybe it aligns with your family, maybe it doesn't, but just really having a very clear picture of what your purpose is on this life at this time, right, in the world. And then building from there. Your mission it stacks on top of that. So this is your foundation, is purpose, then there's mission, then there's vision, right? So it serves as this driving force, the motivation, the direction for mission. It serves as the driving force behind the vision, because, again, it's important for us to inspire others with this compelling future. And we need to be aligned with that purpose if we're going to inspire others to see that vision as well. So really, providing this context, purpose provides a context and the motivation for vision, guiding, like your family, guiding your organization, guiding your business towards its future. And again, everything also ties back into that mission, like going back into mission, but purpose, mission, vision, right? If you have to think about it as like I almost think of like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? So being able to understand how all of that is tied together. And then finally, we have legacy and embracing your legacy, right? So once we have this clarity, right, of our purpose, and then we build into that our mission and then our vision, we have that clear path, that roadmap into leaving our legacy. So, what is legacy? Legacy is the impact that lasts beyond our lifetime, right? It lasts far beyond our lifetime. The healing that we're doing today, truly like the deep, deep healing of challenging limiting beliefs, of moving to this bigger vision, this bigger mission in life, allows us to do a lot of internal healing, but it also heals past and future. I won't get into the past, but for the future, we're talking about generations to come. We're talking about our children and their children. So many organizations now are moving towards having this mission and vision and wanting to create a legacy, wanting to leave the earth better than it is currently. And it's such a beautiful thing to see so many missions aligning with that. So really, legacy answers the question, right? This is the question: what mark do we leave? What mark do I want to leave on this planet? And you think about the ripple effect, right? I know for me, I started my business because I was looking, so many different reasons. I had these dreams, I had these visions, and I put them on the back burner because of fear, because of doubts, because of the chatter in my own head and around me about how dangerous it was to start my own business. But I had this yearning, this burning within me. So that's one of the reasons why I did this, but that wasn't the catalyst, right? One of the legacies I want to leave behind is this narrative for my kids, that they can follow their dreams. They can, if they want to, they can start their own businesses. They can live a life that they envision, right? They just that it's possible, right? It takes work. They see me work, but it's not like this striving. It's an inspiration. It's a flow. It's beautiful. So, anyways, that's the mark that I want to leave for my kids, and the mark on the bigger society, right? And then that ripples out like to their kids and maybe their friends, and like we truly don't know who we're connecting with or like what kind of ripple we're leaving behind most of the time. If you're looking for a really inspirational series, it's on Apple TV and it's called Dear. DEAR. There are 2 seasons, beautiful, beautiful seasons. So I highly recommend you check that out. So legacy truly, so the question that legacy answers is, what kind of mark do I want to leave behind? And when we're looking at legacy, like legacy shapes our actions and our priorities in really meaningful ways. When we have clarity of our legacy, it elevates actions, right? It really up levels us. It raises our own standards. Nobody's raising them for us. We raise them for ourselves. So it elevates our actions beyond immediate concerns. We can see globally, right, how this could impact us and how this can impact the world and how this can impact generations to come, right? It really fosters, when we can see it and really embrace our legacy, it fosters a sense of purpose and direction, and it leaves with us this responsibility, but not in a super heavy way, in a really inspirational way that really transcends us. It transcends our interests. It contributes to so many greater positive changes and forward progress. So that's what we're looking at with everything about like the Female Trailblazers Academy and the Institute for the Female Trailblazers is all about purpose and direction and taking responsibility and living a fulfilling life and seeing yourself as that visionary and as that change maker, knowing that this is your purpose in this life and this is the legacy that you're meant to live. So That's the difference. I'm, in creating that clarity. Again, this is just like the tip of the iceberg for navigating your mission, your vision, your purpose, your legacy. And please join us for the 5 days to break barriers and live your legacy today. And it starts on Monday. So this is the wonderful workbook that you get with it. So be sure to register, sign up. We are going through, even deeper conversations and awarenesses. It's not just me talking to you. It's us working through that clarity so that you know what your gifts are, so that you have clarity of what your legacy is and what you need in order to create a solid foundation for your purpose, building your specific mission, and then looking at your vision and bringing it all together so that you're leaving your legacy. So we are so excited to see you there in the 5 days to break barriers and live your legacy today, where we are going to go through transformations. I'm like, what is that? I had something on my boob the whole time. So we are going to go through transformations together, and we are there to support you every step of the way. So I'm super excited to see you there to leave your legacy. So sending so much light and love your way. Remember to stay curious, stay compassionate, and let your legacy shine.